So we have Fred Blanchard that's with us. We have Ben York with us, and Brian Bacik. We're here at Bonneville, day number 3. So I want to say hi to Fred first of all. How are you, Fred?
Bonjour, Bruno. Thank you for being here, and it's kind of a joint broadcast for both of our radio shows, and I'm glad that you brought all the devices with you. And we're kind of this is the 63rd Speed Week, and this is kind of where we're at. And I believe the date is what, the 16th, is it today? No, the 14th or the 16th? 16th, yeah. And we're kind of going to go over pretty much the events of the week for us. And the background noise wasn't intended, however. It's they're tuning up one of the land speed motorcycles, and unbeknownst to us, they would do it right at the time of this broadcast, though. But between the French Connection radio program and Adrenaline Motorsports, this is kind of be a dual broadcast, and we'll share the information as we go along. Our intent this week was to get our qualifying licensing done here at Bonneville on this event, and we were successful in getting our AA license with the Adrenaline Rush Lakester with the Arius engine in it, and we brought along Ace Mechanic along with us, with Steve Montrelli, who's not with us right here at the moment. We had a good day the previous day of the first event. We actually got the car out, got it kind of ready to run, and we thought we were going to have a spectacular week, and we did up to a point. We did a tune-up run, and Ben was able to take it to the 3 mile, and we were the event. We ran 251 miles an hour just in a tune-up run, but still the engine, as those who know about engines, we were running considerably rich. And after a review of the engine, we made preparations to tune it up a little better. And after the review of things, we got some assist from Jamie Wagner of Edelbrock Quick Data. They kind of helped us adjust the computer as to reading the information, which was a whole new device for us. And so we had a lot of assistance. Mike Lefevre was around, as well as Steve. And I want to introduce our current guests. Of course, Bruno Tuzet doesn't need any introduction. He's the French Connection. Bruno, thank you again for bringing everything and preparing for the radio broadcast. Brian Bacik, you have now a salt tan from top to bottom. you look like a crispy critter. Yeah. They say red lobster. We got a red Brian here. And of course, Ben York, and it goes without saying, he's the driver of our little Adrenaline Rush Lakester. And to make it quite clear, I'm going to ask them both for some comments. Brian, up to this point in the week, tell us a little bit about what you feel about this experience you've had here this week.
Well, I came to Fred's house, and we stayed the week before getting everything put together. Then we went up to pick up the trailer at Ben's shop, Roseville Rod Custom, and brought it back down to La Havre. And then we headed up Thursday, and we stay at the Nugget, which I really like. But I was really excited. It wasn't hot the first day; it was in the low 90s. And then we made our first pass, and the car's come a long way since last year. And we've got who I think is a pretty smart guy, Steve Montrelli. I don't know if you know, but he tuned all of Mickey Thompson's cars all the years, and he was a crew chief for Dale Palvey and Danny Angayas and Cheryl Greer. And then we got the car ready. Ben and the boys did a heck of a job. Just to set up, we have to put 5 or 6 canopies because you have to get out of the sun, and they did a great job on that. And then we worked all day Friday and Saturday to get the car prepared, and then we went up and had a great 251 mile an hour run. And we thought that things were going to be spectacular for us this weekend. We're Fred's theory is you inch up on it, you don't go grab a whole bunch of at one time because things could get hurt, and it worked out pretty well. And then we were prepared for the run on Sunday, and the car actually has, we think, or Fred thinks that there's too much power. We actually had too much power for the transmission to take it, and we damaged the transmission, and we were out of the races. But we're going to plan and get the thing back on the track.
Thank you, Brian, for your short synopsis of our experiences here. We what Brian didn't share with you was coming back from Roseville, California. We had another little episode with our old tow truck. It's seen better days, got quite a few miles on it, but we had an ECU failure on the ejection system, and so instead of running 60 mile an hour over the ridge to get to the dealership for repair services, we were running 30 miles an hour over there. Got there just at the last minute before they closed, but they pulled out all the stops and pulled the guys out of the shop and did the repair, hooked up to the trailer right out there on the back road, got us back on the road again, and they really took care of us, and that was a greatly appreciated thing. And then we headed home, and but I got Ben York here. He's the one I want to really talk to because he had an experience beyond any experience. As Brian was saying, we made a 251 run, but what we didn't talk about was our second run, which was we had an anomaly, as they call it, and I guess we were pretty close at the 2 mile, but I'll let Ben fill you in on the details because he had his hands full, and I kind of thought he'd need a third hand, but he got it all handled with 2 hands, so it worked out pretty good. Ben, good to see you here. Why don't you just fill us in as to what took place in your second pass on Sunday.
Hello, this is Ben. Glad to be here. Been waiting 365 days to get back here since last year. It's an adrenaline rush. It's anticipation, excitement, and then letdown when something bad happens and you know you're not going to get any more runs for another 365 days. What happened was about a mile and 3/4, the blower belt actually broke. Lost power, and as I was shutting it off and trying to get stopped, the transmission exploded and actually came right through the side of the car. Through debris inside the car, out on the track, and inside the car you can't tell what is happening. So it goes into emergency mode, or I don't know what you exactly want to call it, but you do a whole different routine than if the run went the way you wanted it. You turn off to the right, you expect fire, safety, ambulance, everybody rushes out. You don't know if the car's on fire, you don't know what blew up, all you know is that there is problems, and get off the track as fast as you can and get out to find out there's a gaping hole in the side of the car. And then, you know, over the next few hours, the disappointment and the realization that the week's over. But for the time we did have here, had a blast. Can't wait to do it again next year. The whole year revolves around it.
I appreciate it, Ben. I know that you're really the only one who can really express the feelings and the ride that you had, and but you were kept safe. The car was basically had the proper devices on it in order to be that way, and that was an important thing as well. And it's you know, it stands a lot for the safety people out here. That tells you what you have to have in the car, and when you do have an anomaly where something comes apart we were not prepared for, that you got onboard fire systems and you got safety devices such as chutes and everything else, plus people to follow you out there and collect you up and make sure everything's okay and you're not hurt. And we were blessed with that there were no injuries and you were in good shape, and you had your head about you, which was a good thing too. You knew exactly what to do, and they did comment, the safety people did say that they would like to have more people like you use good sense, because everybody goes into panic mode, and that's not what's necessary, and in your case you didn't do it. So I mean, you did well, and the car's semi together, the engine's in good condition. We were checking it this morning. You got some data off the computer, which is a real plus after you jury-rigged the power source to get it back together after you sheared all the wires off. But it's all good. We're looking forward to seeing how good the data is, and but it gives us a direction, and that was the most important thing. And again, I'm glad that everything worked out. You didn't get hurt, and the car's in salvageable. It's not a major calamity, but it's substantial. I can say that. It's going to be some major work and some major time spent on that. And Bruno, I want to give the mic back to you so you can convey this information to your program there, the French Connection. And thank you very much for bringing us all together here with this.
Yeah, but Fred, we're not done. You and I host 2 radio shows, so the show ain't finished, folks. So we're still here. We're still gathered with Fred, Ben, and Brian also. And Ben, I want you to take us to the first day, Saturday, how everything started.
Saturday, everything started good. A lot of work getting the car through inspection, getting the car ready to run. Tuned the car up, went out to make our baseline run. The car ran good. Didn't have quite the power we wanted, but we were running a little rich. But the car felt good, ran straight, shifted fine. Everything was good through the first run. We run 251 miles an hour. There's maybe a little thought that in that run we did some damage to the transmission, which came back in the second run. But Saturday was overall a good day, besides being a little long and a little tiring.
Now, we all know how crazy you have to be a driver, but how did you get prepared with all that? I mean, we're all there as spectators, we're all trying to help a little bit here, but tell us a little bit what type of frame of mind you are when you get ready for a big race like that.
There's some nervousness in, maybe the half hour before the run going over in your head, but once I get suited up, strapped in the car, and I can just sit there and look down the course and sit in line, all of that really goes away. Especially once the engine fires, everything is out of your mind except for doing what needs to be done, doing everything at the right time, making sure that the car is handling right, steering right, trying to look at the gauges. There's no real time to be nervous, scared, anything else, and your adrenaline is rushing so much that it's just a high.
And now well, like a friend mentioned, nothing bad happened. I mean, your safety comes first. Just briefly again, everything happened. Is it just a few seconds? How everything evolved? Like yesterday when it happened. How fast do you have to react?
You do have to react very fast. There's probably from the time that it's known that there's a problem to the time that I'm trying to get off the track and get stopped and let the safety know, turn out to the right, so they can start rolling if there is a major problem. It's probably only 3, 4, 5, 6 seconds in that range, and it's something that I go over in my head every time I get in the car, looking at where everything is, what sequence I would hit the fire, shut off the fuel, shut off the engine. You just always go through that in your head, and then it was, I think, a little relieving, or I feel like I learned in having to do it, because I had never done it before. It was more of a what-if situation, and now that I've gone through it, I understand that I can do it and not to be scared of it and just go through the motions. And it really was pleasing to me to know that I did all of it, did it right, and so in the future I'm not nervous about what if anymore. Now it's, I can do it.